going on, Ren? Let me just check here. I'm just getting things set up here. It's gonna be starting fairly soon, as Sus gets home from work. Is they kind of requested it, so. But I also figured it's been helpful. Plus, I've been getting requests for something like this for a little while. Ooh. My power surge is way out of the way. Alright, there we go. Audio sound okay? I think my mic is a little, was a little far. I'm gonna do a quick test here with you since I have you here. I just want to make sure my scene capture here is okay. Give me a second here. And I want to make sure you could see my monitor as well. Hey, Wind. Let me just minimize things that I was doing here. So I'm hoping that my screen comes up shortly. Let me see. Yeah, monitor 1. Alright, that should be it. You guys should be able to see. Yeah, there we go. Don't mind the messy desktop right there. It looks like it's okay. Yeah, that's my PC background. Okay. Just making sure everything's working right. This is only the second time I've not done a game capture, so. So this is the current one that I'm working on. I'm only at 214 total. Well, it says 211, but there's more here. Let me just go back into Discord real quick. Okay. Yep. Alright, looks like I can kind of go live here. I'll link it up for everybody else. Put it in my channel. Alright. Alright, so it looks like we're pretty good to go. So we got Ren, we got Wind, Not. What's going on? Okay, so basically, this is very short basic, well not short, but it's a basic setup of basically how to begin modding. Things you'll need, things that I use. You can ignore half these files that are on my desktop right now. What's going on, Dylan? Ah! And the real name comes out. Ha ha ha. Alright, so Rooster, what's up? Alright, so what you're seeing on my screen now is a whole lot of nonsense. Most of you that are on PC already understand what a lot of this is. I've never done a tutorial before, so bear with me here, okay? I use Mod Organizer too, okay? So up here, this here, right? And for whatever reason, my MO2 is not giving me a nice little Mod Organizer 2 icon. I tried to put it back in, but This is the little icon here. It doesn't like me. That's okay. It's still the program. Mod Organizer 2 is what I use. It's what I recommend. I have absolutely no experience with Nexus Mod Manager or Vortex. I've never used either of them. I know how they work. Um, actually started on MO2, and this was back in the beginning of May of this year. Um, to say that it was a learning curve, I guess isn't really fair considering I hadn't used anything else. I know a lot of people that have gone from Nexus Mod Manager to Mod Organizer, and they said it was a bit of a curve, but if you're fairly competent with running the programs through MO2, it's really simple. I'm still learning things myself, um, so I'm not gonna get ahead of what I know. There's tons of people that know a hell of a lot more about this than I do, but this is basically how I set things up. So you're wanting to mod Skyrim. This is the mod manager of choice that I recommended. I'm sure a lot of other people will also recommend the same thing too. To run a lot of the programs, it's a necessity. Some of the things you cannot run in Vortex or Nexus Mod Manager. Some mods actually state that. Some programs actually state that. It says cannot be used, via NMM or Vortex. So I have it installed, and so there's a couple icons up top. Basically, I'm doing a whole lot of stuff. So let me just basically put what you would normally see. This would all be blank. It's not blank because this is my current. So let me go back. Okay. I'll leave it on for the hell of it. Okay. And you guys can kind of see what I've been doing. I'll go through some of the steps. So you have two panes, the left and the right pane. These are your two major ones that you're going to want to see. I'll maximize it here so you guys can get a little bit better look. Okay. Uh, you'll notice up at the top in the left, under mod name, right? Your DLCs. So these aren't necessarily in order when you first start up. Usually, for some reason, Hearthfire's defaults to the top, but I always make sure that they're in the same order as my plugins on the right-hand side. So you have Skyrim ESM, which is the main one, update, and then it'll start with your DLCs. So Dawnguard Hearthfire's Dragonborn on the right, and I don't have it set up properly, so we'll do that now. Okay, Dawnguard Hearthfire's Dragonborn. First thing, it comes with loot built in, right here. Okay. However, I also have loot as an external program here on my desktop. As loot does update itself, you can update it into Mod Organizer here. So the way that you're going to add programs into Mod Organizer is this drop-down box here. These are all of your executables. And you have to apologize my voice. It's been scratchy with this weather. So if I cough, I'll try and keep it away from the mic. Weather's been hell. So whenever you guys hear us or you see us talking about like adding executables or running an executable, that would be any of these in this list. So you'll see my list. I have a bunch. Okay. Couple ways to do it. There's the Modify Executables tab on the upper left here that pops this window up. And then you can see the list of what I have currently. Okay. And then each has its title. SKSE has its title. It's got its binary location. So it tells you where exactly on my PC that it is, right? So if I scroll back, right now mine's in C, program files x86, Steam, Steam apps, common, SSE, the 64 loader.exe. That's its binary. Okay. No, nothing for arguments. Okay. Loot would be the same thing. Loot's got its own. Okay. So for those of you running MO2, you're going to be wondering why your data folder is fairly clean. This is my data folder. There's almost nothing in here. There's basic game folders, right? Mine's in C, program files, Steam, Steam apps common, SSE, data. This is clean. If you're running Vortex or Nexus Mod Manager, this will be populated with your mods. This is one of the benefits of MO2. What's going on, Tim? So you're asking yourself where your mods are located. Your mods are located in a separate folder called virtual. They say it's virtual. It's here. C. So users. So it's my name. So you guys all know my name, Mike. App data, local. And then I have my mod organizer right here. Skyrim Special Edition. Okay, let me maximize this out. Mods. You could also see your profiles, right? See how these four, my default's always going to show up, and then I have one for Enderall, just because I bought Legendary Edition specifically to play Enderall. Then I have a mod testing profile, and then I have one of my main files here. So your mods are in the folder called mods. And this so far is everything that I've downloaded in numerical then alphabetical order. Everything's located right here. This entire list. So it doesn't draw from your data folder, which is amazing. Let me go back here. So my Skyrim game folder has a couple things already in it. Let me minimize this and pull up. All right. All right, so you can see a couple things that are already in here that once you run the game for the first time, all that's going to be in here are your base game ini files and anything else that goes along with it. Data. EMB, don't worry about that. That's because I have EMB installed. I also have SKSE installed. I've got several other utilities that need to go into your game folder itself, not the data folder. Data would be here. You do not want to put anything in here. Right into the game folder. Yeah, SKSE. It's the next one I'm gonna get to. So with MO2, right? This is all gonna be blank, and I should have it up. So where you're gonna go to is up top here, skse.silverlock.org. Okay. You're gonna look for current SE build, and it's gonna give you its version number, which right now it's at 2.0.16. It'll say runtime 1.5.80. You're going to want the 7Z archive. Okay. All you do is click on this. It's going to download right there. Okay. And I believe my niece just got home. So let me just minimize this, this, and this. All right. So down here, SKSE. What I do is I drag it to my desktop like this, right? Go to 7-zip, extract to, and I always extract to here so I can get all the files. All right. Then what you're going to want to open up is your Skyrim Special Edition folder. Open this up. I'll try and keep it as neat as I can so you guys can see what I'm doing. Inside of the SKSE folder, version 2.0016, open it up. What you're going to do is anything that's got SKSE and the source. right? These are all going to move them over right into your game folder itself. And now since I have them, see, it's just going to say replace the files here. What that's going to do, I'm going to decline this since I have this already installed. It's going to have these right here. And what you're looking for is the SKSE64 loader.exe, the version .dll or D11, and then the source. Okay. Then these will all be out of here. They'll all be in your game folder. Okay. So basically how it looks like it's right here. Everything here will be as it should. Okay. Then the first mod, obviously, you can see I have SKSE listed. Let me just minimize here. That's going to be this right here, the 7-zip file. So, upper left, in mod organizer. Hold on, let me just minimize. And you're going to see me minimize and I'll reopen stuff up like crazy. There's obviously really good tutorials, but I feel like, doing it in real time, I can go back and forth. It's not like I'm just putting out a video that's pre-recorded. And then usually what people do is like, because I've watched them myself, I stop at certain points. Then I may have to go back if I don't get something, you know, because I will go back, and I even do this now. Um, so this icon here, it says install a new mod from an archive. So this you could basically point to anywhere on your PC. It's also how you install mods from outside of Nexus. It's how you install anything that you see here that's 7-zip. Anything like certain mods that are manual download only, like SKSE was a manual download. So anything that doesn't have the download with manager button, click this. Now SKSE is this new version here, which I have installed. You would open it. Actually, well, let me do it for the hell of it. I'll reinstall it. So when I hit this, it'll actually pop up this install mods window, which says data, and then it's got SKSE, but you'll notice it says no game data on top level, and this is what a lot of people miss. They just go to install, they hit OK, they don't worry about anything like this. You have to set the data directory. This goes for almost every single mod that you install. There will be exceptions, and they're the mods that say looks good, default. Comes and it's in green too, so if it's red, there's an issue. If it's green, you're good. Just expand it till you find the actual data. You could expand this further if you want to, but it tells you what's in there, scripts, everything else, but you don't really have to worry about that. Once you find the actual data folder inside of here, you'd right click, set the data directory. Now it says looks good. Now everything's it's gone back, so you could re-expand it again, but as long as it says looks good in the green, that's what you want. You could rename this whatever you like. I usually tend to keep it at the version that it's at, so whatever is default, right? Now if I hit OK, see this mod is already seems to be installed. I could replace it. You don't want to merge it, but this is a good chance to show you what this box is. So you're going to come to boxes like this. So whether it says the mod exists or if you're trying to make a patch but the names are the same, it lets you merge, replace, rename. I'm going to cancel this out since I already have SKSE installed. So you already have your files that came in with it right in your game folder, and then that's your first one. I always keep source in there, Tim. I know you only need the base SKSE files, but I found that adding the source folder in there doesn't hurt anything at all. And a lot of people don't even do this step. They usually just take the SKSE files and put them right in the game folder. And some don't even run this, and they run the game fine. I had issues with it with my setup, but I mean it's just so simple. It's just like adding a mod, and as long as it's your very first one, you won't have any issues. SKSE has one more step, and you have to run the game with the SKSE loader in the right pane of MO2 from now on, which means you have to add it in. And what you would do is you would go to Edit. Now, I have it in here already. And it's just like I was showing you before. What you would do normally is, for executables, you won't have anything in here aside from Skyrim Special Edition, the launcher, and I think the creation kit are the only things that come default once you load your game up for the first time. And it builds the files. Everything else is either added separately or they come from different programs. Rybash. I have Patches Maximus. That's for the patcher that I'm working on. For this load order here, loot comes in here default. Okay. Things I've added obviously, but SKSE you would have to add in. So title is what it is, SKSE. The binary is the location that it's in. So let me just scroll all the way back to show you again. You would click on here to find it where you have SKSE listed. So for me, that's C, Program Files, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim. And that's where my loader is, SKSE 64 loader.exe. That's the one you want. Starts in Common, Skyrim Special Edition. That's it. No, nothing in arguments. I always tick these boxes to use the application's icons. What that does is up here gives you a little icon of whatever it is. You could see for SEdit or XEdit has the icon. BlahGen has its icon. Finis used to have a different icon. I think they got messed up at some point because Finis had a little red F and it was in a square. And that's my headphones cutting out for some reason. I'm sorry. Finis had a little red icon. I also have Java. So Java, Patches, and the debug more heap space. But that's not, I'm not even going to get into this stuff with you guys, or Enderall. These are all separate. SKSE is installed. So basically when you go to run the game anymore, instead of running it from your launcher, you will select SKSE and you will hit run. And that is how you'll run the game every single time. I know with the Vortex and Nexus Mod Manager, you should have an icon on your desktop that's the same thing. For now, I'll pretend that Loot's icon's the SKSE launcher. What they usually do is they'll hit properties, they'll change the icon to the Skyrim logo, okay? And you'll have to run it from there. Yeah, Enderall is fun, Ren. I had a really good time. I had to buy LE for it, but it was worth it. So, we can get rid of the script. Alright, so here also, if you do want to play on LE, current classic build, this hasn't changed. I don't remember when this was last updated, but since the Legendary Edition of the game does not get those stupid Creation Club updates, which basically breaks SKSE, if you do have it, this is the version you want. It's been on 1.7.3 for ages. I would assume, I think there's a README inside the 7Z for current. Do not get the VR. You don't need it. You want the SC build for SC, the classic build 1.73 for LE. Okay. So, Nexus. It's where I get pretty much all my mods. This is basically the main page. I literally just nexusmods.com. You could come over here for game, you want to select Special Edition, which is in the center. The original Legendary is right here. Everything else they have is ordered. You could view all 796 games. Select Special Edition, and you're good to go. Starting to download. Try to think of what else. Let me see here. So aside from the clutter that's here, don't need these. Could delete these. Dun, 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 dun. So other things with the mod organizer. Let's see here. Well, as you guys can see, this is what I've been working on. This is actually a very small load order compared to what I usually do. I'm going to go over the right pane real quick because the right pane is really important. The right pane is your load order. This is your loadout. This is how I refer to it. This is my loadout. I try to keep these two panes as matched as possible. You have a sort button. You have loot. Loot I only use to check like inconsistencies or patches needed, or to check if a mod needs to be cleaned. Okay. What I do is I always install, I download and I get SKSE set up first. Before I download even SSE engine fixes here, I clean all my masters. So what that is SSE edit. And what I will do is go to Nexus. Xedit. It is a manual download. Okay. Where I have it stored, let me see. Let's go to modify. Alright. So I'm going to minimize this and I'll show you where it's at. I have mine in C modding. So I have a modding folder. Let's see here. Go to C. This folder right here, modding. Okay. You can see I have a couple different programs. Dynalod's in here, MO2, resources, SSE Loggen, and then we have Xedit. You're going to want both of these executable files, right? sscedit.exe and the quick auto clean.exe. You want both of them added to your executables tab here. So I have SSE edit here and the quick auto clean a little further down at the bottom because I added it a little bit later. Yeah, and yeah, it'll be fine with the SKSE 64 loader. It's just that's how I have it set up. It's run fine ever since. I'm going to give you a real quick example of what loot does. So I have loot. These are all my mods. I pretty much, aside from Skyrim Unbound over here on the left, which I do not have ticked because I have alternate start ticked. And as you can see, alternate start I also dragged all the way to the bottom since this load order is work in progress. But what I want to do is say, I'm not really sure if I might need a patch or something. So let me run loot and see if there's anything I'm missing or if I get an error. So I'm going to run this now. Usually takes a second or two. And it does its thing. I have one warning. I have no errors. I have 28 total messages. So your plugins, your filters. Now, if you look at the first one, this is your base game ESM, Skyrim. This one does not get cleaned, right? But update, Dawnguard, Hearthfires, and Dragonborn. These will normally give you messages, identical to Masters, uh, deleted references occasionally, usually not with the main ones, but you'll see it with certain mods. These have been cleaned already. Yours won't look like this. You will have probably a couple warnings. You may have an error or two. Total messages, I know this because I do not have a certain patch installed yet. Let me see here. So I'll give you an example. So Legacy of the Dragonborn. It's green, it looks good, but I'm also running audio overhaul Skyrim, so it needs a patch for this. I do not have enabled a compatibility patch for this mod, which is located on audio overhauls page, I believe. Legacy also has a patch, but I never add that one till the end, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with the mods here. But you can go down the list and check, and then if something was, say, let's see if I have any errors here. I might not. Okay. So 3D landscapes. This is the tree mod. Using unofficial Skyrim patch, but have not enabled a compatibility patch for this mod. Third-party patches available here, so Quinn's Unified. Those of you running Mod Organizer 2 get real familiar with this mod here, Quinn's. It patches pretty much everything. And it's this top one here. It's one mod, literally. So these are the requirements. Mods you need that this patches for. And it will patch for everything. This list is exhaustive. Most of these things I will have or I have already. And it looks like my Wi-Fi went down. Yeah, the 64, the loaders, the SKSE, Dylan. It's the same thing for MO2. Let me just get loot out of here real quick. Unlock. I don't have it named SKSE 64. I just have it real simple. Couple tabs up top here, Rybash, Finis, which I also have here. Okay. You can add these up top as a shortcut if you want to. I only recommend it with things like Finis, possibly Java if you ever need to run a Java app. None of your main game files. And even then, I don't really even use the shortcuts. At this point, I'm so conditioned to just using the drop down for everything that I need. I know the order that it's in. Let me see here. What else do I have? Let me minimize this a little bit. Get rid of this. Go back to the main here. Let's see here. Alright, so I have a ton of stuff already downloaded basically because this is stuff I've been working on the last couple days. So what I'm going to say is ignore all these files that you see here. Okay. I do have some programs, obviously, MO2, Bethesda Net Launcher. So if you're working in the creation kit, and I think this was a question that came up, uh, basically, how do you do things in the CK? The CK comes up here, right? Never start the creation kit through Mod Organizer 2. I made the mistake doing that the first time. It kept crashing. It crashed for about 3 days. And I think I pestered John Rose so much that he just wanted me to keep crashing and have me figure it out for myself. Don't run it through MO2. It'll default here, right? You can get it in Steam. I forget where it is even. Let me see. View. What's it under? I only use Steam for uh, the games when I have to uninstall and reinstall, which I'm not going to do. But if you ever need to, it's a right click, uninstall. I'm obviously not going to do that. The first time you load the game, once this loads up, you want to run it from Steam right here where it says play. That's what's going to initially generate your game files, the ini files, everything that you need. Which you can all tweak those from Mod Organizer. This button up here is, it's got Finis here. It's also got my ini editor, my Skyrim ini folder, Skyrim prefs, and custom. And there's not a lot that I change on this. What I'm going to do is I'll give you an example of something that needs an ini setting changed. The mod floating damage, right? So let me pull that up real quick. This is one of my favorite mods. I pretty much won't play without this. These are, the damage bars or numbers that you see. For those of you who've watched my streams when I'm attacking an enemy or if they're dealing damage to each other. All right. So it requires SKSE. Just go over the description. Let me see here. Yeah, displays damage text on actors. It's basic, right? However, you could preview the file contents and it's just the ini. This is, and the DLL. These are the main ones here. So I've got it installed. But it's got its own ini tab up the top here. All right, so when I click on this, and you click on this, you're going to see a whole bunch of information pop back up. Now, with this mod, there was a couple things that were different when I started it. And this is also in the Nordic guide. I think it's in the Yash guide that Rooster uses, right? So, I think the radius was something like... This is what I'm changing it back to what it was default, okay? So in the guide it tells you you need to change these. So you want only hostile. You want that to be true. Because if it's false, it'll be everybody. See, the near radius is going to be 200. The far radius is 1,000, and then you leave list update time alone. Okay. What do you mean the 64? Like the loader? Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. Yeah, SKSE. The 64 is. Let me see. Let me go back. Oh, I just have my special edition here. Yeah. All right. So the SKSE files here, right? These. Once these are in your game or your game folder, you're basically done with SKSE. Okay. So there's a couple other ones that you may see that are in here. EMB, because I do have EMB installed. What you're going to do is you're going to want to go to this site here. If you want to play with an EMB, it's embdev.com. Okay. So there's a couple things here. Let me just clear SKSE off the bottom here. You're going to come to this site. You're going to go to News. Click on it. Okay. In the left-hand side here, you're going to look for Download. Okay. And you're going to scroll down where it says Graphic Modifications. You're going to find Skyrim Special Edition, TES, Skyrim SE. Click on that. Now, where it says download here, you're not going to download here. Don't hit open. Okay. See the versions? 0.390 is the latest. So this is for EMB. You're always going to want the latest version of the base EMB. Okay, this is going to be a manual download, so you'll see it populate right here where it says download. Click that little arrow. Okay, EMB series right there at the bottom. Same principle as SKSE. Now, EMB series is done, right? I do the same thing, put it to my desktop. Comes zipped, so I'm going to right click. 7-zip, I'm going to use that. Okay. Extract to, and I always, it's always the name of the program or file that it is. It's right here. Okay. So I don't need this anymore. I can minimize this. Let me minimize this. So I've got my Skyrim game folder. This is the EMB data, right? You're going to want the wrapper version. I think because there's nothing in the background, my headphones keep shutting off on me. They're fully charged. I don't know why it does this. So with the EMB, you only need two of these two files, right? The D3 D11.dll and the D3D compiler _46E. So what you would normally do is you take these two, same thing you did with SKSE, drag them across to here, right? Now it says destination has two files with same names. That's because they are right here. I already have them installed. That's your base for EMB. You would basically be done with that until you decide which EMB you want to run. That's your base. Now each EMB has a different, will usually have some options. Now I have one installed. I switched weather mods. I switched to NAT weather and NVT EMB. So let me just show you that real quick. Natural view Tamriel. Okay. So this is the EMB that I'm going to be running. You'll see the description page. You'll see requirements. Now make sure that you have all the applicable requirements. EMB helper needed for EMB weather support. Where it says notes, notes are always handy. Always read these things. SKSE is the offsite requirement. You may skip over this. You may just find your weather mod and go, oh, I've got that weather mod installed. You may miss that. You may not have SKSE installed. I'm using this as an example. You would probably have SKSE installed, but let's just say this said something completely different. Okay? Make sure you read all of them. Find the one that you have. Okay? So For me, it's NAT. I have NAT installed already. Okay. So then you go under Files, and what you're going to want to do is these are all manual downloads. Okay. So there's one for Dolomite, there's one for Rustic, there's one for Vivid, and they have the version numbers. So make sure the version numbers match up or are greater than the latest version. I think I said that backwards, but you want them to match up. Like you would ideally want these versions to match. Okay. COT, Climates of Tamriel. And this is the one that I have for NAT, version 4.6.1e, EMB weather supported. Not that big of a file for an EMB, 20 megabytes. Needs SKSE and EMB helper. See, the notes even tell you. Okay, it includes full quality, quality, and performance with the night iFix. This was the major game changer for me that I was looking for. Not a lot of them have the night iFix, so it's a manual download. Does the same thing. And it just says mod requirements. This is the same thing. This is, your weather mod, SKSE. So we have SKSE installed. I have NAT weathers installed. I would download this. You would see. And it's the same thing. Let me get rid of the EMB series. Don't need these anymore. So this is the EMB file. NVT. Right? Do the same thing. 7-zip. Okay. It's going to give you another nice little folder. Minimize this. So these all go in your Skyrim game folder. So what you're going to want to do is open this. Natural View, Tamriel, NVT. And you want to start at the top, main file install. Okay. Usually, a lot of the EMBs will give you a performance, a quality, a full. They may have it named something completely different, but it's usually usually between 2 and 4 or 5 different settings, and you're going to want to match it up to your PC specs. If you're running something high-end, obviously go full quality. If you're running a mid-tier, you could probably go full quality, but you're going to see an FPS drop. You're running something a little bit lower quality or performance, it's still going to make your game look a hell of a lot better. Bottom line, I don't understand why anybody who's on a PC doesn't run with at least the performance version of an EMB of their choice. You could tweak them. It just makes the game look a hell of a lot better. I ran the full quality, so that's the first one I chose. Now, EMBs are really easy to add in. And everything here gets copied. Same thing we do with SKSE. Same thing we did with the EMB itself, installer. They would get dragged in, and then you won't be getting these messages the first time you do this. I'm getting them because I've already got them installed. But it's this file here, EMB local, EMB series. Now they were the ones that would be getting replaced if I were to select replace. But since I have them, these two here, and then the 2 folders up top here. And then basically you'd be done with this. Other way. Delete. So, let me see if I can catch up with the chat since it's working here. Let me minimize this. So I had questions about the creation kit. I had questions about mods that I use, that I use all the time. Um, I've basically followed one guide, not to a T, but I have mods that, like I started on console, right? Uh, there's a ton of mods that I've carried over from console to PC that I just can't play without. Absolutely cannot play without. Let me minimize my game folder here. I'll maximize MO2. Uh, we have SKSE installed. Engine fixes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what I follow. I know Rooster's familiar with this, and a bunch of the other guys are. So Nordic Skyrim. Yet another guide to modding your Skyrim SE. It's on Nexus. It's basically a giant document, right? There's files here, but ignore these. I mean, this gives you load order and a thank you. You know, you want a good, decent guide. There's a few of them. I know Rooster's linked the Yash guide, which is hidden on here now. There's Lexi's guide. I'm trying to think of the other. The Tuco guide, if I'm pronouncing that right. I've been following Nordic and I add my own stuff in. It tells you, yeah, made for both Yash guide and Nordic Skyrim, but it's not required. So this is the separators. I don't use them. I never have. Gives you a nice introduction, right? Every spoiler is to show it's pertinent that you read everything. Probably one of the easiest ways to start off is to follow a guide. I didn't have that luxury. I basically had John Rose throw me a list and say, this is going to work. Pick what you like. Then I did, and it worked. And I'd like to think that since then, the stuff that I've used has come a little further. I don't use everything in this guide. This guide is pretty exhaustive, and I haven't even expanded all the tabs. Preparation, right? Intro is what it is. The aims of the guide, experience, information. You could even see they have links to the Tuco guide and Phoenix Flavor. So if I right click and open link, here's Tuco, right? Same thing. Same thing. Uh, Preparation, right? You can click on it. Do not use it. These two are both these tabs. Read these, okay? So about, pretty self-explanatory. This is what's going to be in the guide. Current SKSE version. At the time of the guide's making, obviously, that's changed. This doesn't matter. You're going to want to read all of these, what they do. The fact that this guide gives you choice, this is what I like about Nordic. It gives you options for everything. To give you an example, music. We're going to expand music, okay? So music mods. I use the Fantasy Soundtrack Project, which is located right here. You'll see the description, right? Provides 12 plus hours of new music for Skyrim, 235 plus orchestral and instrumental fantasy / epic music tracks for exploration, towns, taverns, and castles. Note, now when it says note, it tells you what it is. So it says FOMOD. So you guys may be wondering what a FOMOD is. And I'll reinstall it to show you. I have it here. Where is it? Fantasy Soundtrack Project, right here in the left-hand pane, okay? So I'm going to reinstall this mod, and I'm going to show you what it does. So what I would do is right click, reinstall mod. It's extracting the files. Now I've already got them installed. So this is a faux mod. This is going to pop up a box. You can rename it. You could put version, I think, 4.1. I just, keep the base unless I really need to change something up. Tells you what it is. Now, main files. This is always going to be checked. It's a music file. And it's going to be grayed out so you can't adjust this. Otherwise, it'll break your game. You have your option. You have the replacer version, which is what I use. It replaces everything. Non-replacer version, it says this will combine, and you look on the left-hand side, this will combine the Skyrim soundtrack with music from here. So you'll get both, right? I've heard the vanilla Skyrim soundtrack to death. I've heard it to death. I want something different. So I chose the replacer version. Optional, combat music. Combat music, RV's replacer version, right? This will replace Skyrim's combat music with combat music from Fantasy Soundtrack Project. That's what I use, right? I use the complete replacer or non-replacer version. So again, it'll be combined. So if you want to have a nice little mix-up of things, you would select both non-replacer versions by themselves. You want to get rid of all the Skyrim music and just completely replace it. Replacer version, combat music replacer version. Click install. This mod seems to be installed. I'm going to replace it because this isn't going to do anything to my file. It's going to load everything up. Bam. Now, where is the Fantasy Soundtrack Project? It's here somewhere. I always get lost. There it is. Okay. So normally it's not ticked. You're going to want to tick it. And the mod's installed. So you could see how it's highlighted on the left pane. It's also highlighted in the right pane. You've got your combat ESP, Fantasy Soundtrack Project.esp. What you need to do is swap these. It's as easy as drag and drop. You want your main ESP up top, the secondary ESP, which is the combat in this version, on the bottom. A couple other mods do that too. I need, for one. Where's I need? You could use the filter in the bottom. Type it in INE, and then it pops up here. So I need food, water, sleep, right? So I am going to reinstall I need, which is 105. Actually, let me do it this way. It's 105. I need's right here. So we're going to reinstall this. Another faux mod pops up with I need. Okay. So you could do the same thing. You could rename it. It's got the version, right? Food, water, sleep, continued, right? I keep it the same. It's got its version, and it's got a nice website link. Tells you the mod author is Izoku, right? The core files, obviously you need them, so they're going to be grayed out, so you cannot touch this, okay? It's going to give you extended. Now, those of you who run this on console know that I need extended as a separate mod. That needs to be placed beneath I need, right? You don't have to run I need extended. I could select none. Or I could select no food changes. And then, of course, you could read what each one does. No food or recipe changes, right? But I want the full, so I want I need and I need extended. Compatibility. Now, this one's important too, depending on where you load this in your load order. It's got compatibility for Nordic Snow, and that is to let Nordic Snow enable you to collect snow from like those mounds when you run over them. It says collect snow on them. If you've used this mod, if I'm running Nordic Snow, I would need to tick this for compatibility patch. I do not have Nordic Snow installed on this setup, so I'm going to leave this one alone. But I do have Noble Skyrim, right? So I'm going to tick this. Dangerous diseases. All non-transformative diseases will be more unique, harder to cure, and progress through 4 deadlier stages at random intervals. See my description for more. So I actually did some research on this. It sounds like realistic needs and diseases, but it's not. It's a optional add-on to I need, which I think is great, which actually kind of wish I would be able to separate and port for console because this would be amazing. Um, because as far as I am aware, realistic needs and diseases still for console has not been updated. If it has, let me know. So I actually ticked this one and then install. So we're going to replace it, right? So that's installed. Now, over here, it's in the right order. I need .esp, I need extended, I need dangerous diseases. So you guys have seen me install mods that I already have installed. Get rid of NVT here real quick. I was actually down to I'm basically just starting my armors and weapons. As you can see, it's tedious. That's why it takes me so long to set up a load order. And like I said, I try to keep both panes identical. Always keep dragging alternate start and anything else that's underneath alternate start to the bottom. Certain things you are going to need, certain things you aren't going to need. I'm trying to think of what else is pertinent to this. Let me see here. So we went over. Let's see. Okay. And as you can see, my game's actual data folder is completely still clean of everything. And that's what you want with MO2. Other things that I have installed. Trying to think. Certain utility mods that I have set up for like Dyndelod, TextGen, SSE LodGen. I could actually generate LODs right now to show you guys what one looks like. It'd probably take a little while, but I can show you the beginning of. As my headphones keep cutting out, so I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna keep apologizing for it. How about this? Anybody have any questions or would like me to go over anything in particular that hopefully I know? Let me just refresh the chat too. Oh, wow. Okay, so I was way back on the chat when my phone died on me. Let me just read back here. Yeah, Dylan, I could I'll pin because this will be on my YouTube the entire time. But since I linked it up in Discord, I could pin it as a reference if you want me to. Or if Ren already pinned it, that's awesome. Mods and go from top to bottom. Let me see. I have to refresh my phone again. For some reason, let me see if I can hook back into my Wi-Fi. That was the main issue, is me. Let me just read back a little bit. Alright, so Ren asked, do you need to clean the DLC files and Skyrim and update files? You only need to clean update and the DLC. Do not clean your... I'll go over that now, actually. I already cleaned mine. I'll clean them again. So it's SSC edit quick auto clean. Okay, I'm gonna run this. Let me just minimize. I just want to make sure I have a clean screen here. It's going to populate everything here. Okay, but nothing is checked. So you're going to leave Skyrim.esm alone. Do not clean this. You're going to want to start with update, Dawnguard, Hearthfires, and Dragonborn. When you run loot, any other mod that gives you the quick auto clean, it's not really an error message. It's kind of like a suggestion to, hey, you should probably clean this mod. Always refer back to the mod page first, what the author says. Some mods, like I think was a guard dialogue overhaul, the author specifies not to clean it. It's never given me an error to do so, but you would start with, say, update, right? You would tick the box, and since Skyrim.esm comes up, hit OK. This is me cleaning one of the masters right here. You're watching this live. And with quick auto clean, you basically hit that button, it does all the work. It'll say still applying filter. If it needs to work any longer, it'll continue to update you. It'll say still applying filter. You can go into information when it's done because it won't let me do it. Some of them take longer than others. Mods themselves, a couple seconds, usually 3 or 4 seconds for me. The masters, a little bit longer. Yeah, the reason I with that list, Ren, is because when it, for whatever reason, it gives you the mod list upside down. So when you start at the top, that's actually the very bottom of my left pane. So you'd want to read it like you're reading like a manga comic from the bottom up and opposite direction, I think. I think that's how they do it, right? It's been a while since I've done that. Anyway, you can see that it's still cleaning. So this is just update. You're only going to want to do with update, Dawnguard, Hearthfires, and Dragonborn. Leave your Skyrim.esm alone. Do not clean it. So let's see. Now I usually just do it once, and I'll show you. I'll show you why. The quick auto clean was I don't want to say it was a recent update, but it was recent enough that it was before. Like when I built my PC, it was already a thing. Before you used to have to do this manually, and I've seen a couple videos on how to do it. But you'd have to apply the filter for cleaning. Like I still go back and I still watch those old tutorial videos. But see here, basically, this is updates done now. Background loader finished. You can see everything here in the file header. I think this is the only one. Which I think is actually okay. Yeah, okay. And then go to messages. So when you're done, you're done. And then you close it out. Now, MO2 is gonna probably force me to unlock it. It usually unlocks itself. It's because I got a whole bunch of other shit running. We're gonna unlock it. So I have this little error message up here. There are notifications to read. Files in your overwrite mod directory. No guided fix. So what is this? There are currently files in your overwrite directory. Okay. Overwrite's all the way at the bottom. Or it's at the top if you only have a couple mods installed, right? So this is overwrite. Double left click. Update ESM. So these are the cleaned, or these are the, this is what you cleaned out. So, yep. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, let's see. Yeah, that's and you know, Ren, honestly, I've not gotten that far into deleting things specifically. I've never had that many issues with my games aside from like if I really had a mod conflict or if I missed a patch somewhere, or let's just say I had to rerun Quinn's because I wound up adding something to my game and I forgot to rerun that major like all-in-one patcher, um, and then it wound up having me crash my game. I've never really had any issues with uh, deleting individual ones. Once I go back in and I run loot, as long as I see no errors, right, and very little warnings, I'm usually pretty good. These total messages, excuse me, you're obviously going to want to take care of. Um, Dawnguard's always going to give you this message, wild edits, cleaning guide. I did clean Dawnguard. In the old version, you had to clean Dawnguard twice. This is why. And aside from the ITMs. Uh, so the total messages here will go down when I fix things like this patch here, this patch here, this patch here, etc., etc. Undeath Remastered, patch for Legacy, etc. Okay. Anything with the green check is obviously good, but this is the main thing you want to look out for. Warnings, which are really just suggestions for the most part. Okay. Errors are the main thing. Um, I don't have any errors. I haven't had any errors, and I can't even tell you. Warnings I've had a lot of for missing a patch. Sonar, I tagged everybody. Were you sleeping the whole time? Let's download some mods. Let's do that, right? Get to the fun stuff. So what am I doing? I'm downloading mods. That's what I was doing. I was working on my load order before this, right? Uh, so let me try and find where I was. Yeah, weapons and armor. Okay, right here. So we did a Midianborn, and I have that installed. What else do I have? Ah, well, you're an ass then. No, I'm kidding. No, because I mean, like, I don't have any music playing. I don't have any fancy video. You know, I don't know video editing at all, nor do I have software to do it. I'm sure I could learn. I'm sure I could put out some grassroots amateurish stuff, kind of like my Let's Plays. It's kind of like being in school. What'd I get? Oh, immersive armors we did. Cloaks. So what Ren was talking about was this mod list right here, right? See, this was generated by Mod Organizer. And you'll notice, if I scroll to the bottom, these are the follower mods that I was working on that I have them saved, right? But it starts with Dawnguard, Hearthfire's Dragonborn, then it goes backwards. SKSE, Engine Fixes, Better Jumping, EMB Helper, and then if I go up top here, SKSE, Engine Fixes. I do have the skill uncapper now, and Papyrus Utilities, but Better Jumping, Floating Damage, the unofficial patch. So for whatever reason, it populates it the opposite. So you'd want to go to the bottom and read it back upwards. So I'm actually kind of semi-following this while I re-download because I know I'm going to miss a mod here and there. But let me just scroll back down here. So Bandolier is the last one I did. And with the guide, it gives you like numbers. So I would move on to like and tighter for female if I was optional, if I had a female character, and tight to male Bare body bandolier, optional. I don't really care about these. Just the basic bandolier mod, right? Winter is coming cloaks. No, just because I only run one cloak mod, which is Cloaks of Skyrim. Winter is coming is great. I don't use it. Um, I much prefer Cloaks of Skyrim. I think they're a lot cleaner. Uh, although with Winter is coming, you get the nice helms, the Game of Thrones style cloaks, and like the furs on the helms, light and heavy, and cloth variants. Uh, so weapons and artifacts. So I'll show you. This is Lean Wolf's Better Shape Weapons, right? We're gonna open this. It'll take me right to the mod page. So you guys all know this that play console, right? It's what a 18 megabyte mod, right? So we'll go to the Files tab. Well, it's 16.8 megabytes, so it's probably around the same size. I want the installer version. Requires Nexus Mod Manager or Rybash, but I have MO2, so I'm going to download it. Mod's already downloaded. There it is, right? So it says downloaded. Okay, it's all the way up top here. I'm going to install it. Faux mod. So you guys get to see what the real Lean Wolves looks like. Okay, not the console version that you don't have any choice over, right? Option 1, no greatsword sheaths, dual sheath redux patch. Now I don't have DSR. I don't want this option, right? So I'm going to go to next, right? Install everything default or custom installation. Well, I'm kind of curious. Let's hit custom, see what it does. So it gives you options for absolutely everything. Iron weapons, iron quiver, the ancient Nordic stuff. Yeah, I want all those. Imperial sword, yes. Steel, steel quiver. Skyforge, no, because I'm going to use a separate mod for the Skyforge stuff, right? Same thing with silver. Orcish. Elven. Okay. Nord Hero is a separate mod for the Runed. But we're going to be replacing these because these are like the Draugr weapons, so I run a separate mod. So I'm going to select none for this, right? Then your Dwarven stuff. Then your Ebony. Then your Daedric and Bound, right? Then it's got one for the Nightingale, one for the Scimitar, one for Mehrunes Razor. Keening in a Dwarven Sheath. Keening with Refraction. This is the one I pick. I've not actually gotten Keening with this version yet, but... And then we want to select Glass, Dawnbreaker, Dawnguard, and Dragonborn. And then for your quivers, Nord Hero, Forsworn, and Falmer. That's just that one page, right? Go to next. Glass weapons, refractive. Or you could select transparency, or you could select normal, or you could select none. So what I do is I select refractive. Refractive, I can't talk. Children with refraction. Yes. Go to the next page. There's more. This is Lean Wolves, by the way. This is just for Dawnbreaker. Elven Sheath. Elven Sheath with the EMB particle patch. I have this, so this is the one that I want. Dragonbone weapons. So I have Genling's Jewelry. So I'm going to pick one of these. I'm going to pick blue because blue is my favorite color. It's going to look like this at the end of my Dragonbone for the weapons. And then for the quivers, I'm going to match them up, right, with the blue, the Dragon Bling. And Oriel's Quiver. Yes. Next. Oh, there's more. Just for one mod. Stalrim with refraction. Quivers with refraction. And then these are like the Nordic weapons and the quivers. So we're going to select both of those. Now we're going to install this. It's installed right here at the bottom. Right? Models and textures. So let me just go back to my plugins page and I'll show you what's going to happen here. I'm going to activate this. We're good to go. There is no ESP for this. Here's a big one, immersive weapons. We'll open that up, right? This is Hoth Trooper. This is another one of his big boys, right? One file, major mod. This might take me a little bit to download because I'm streaming too, so I'm wondering how much it's taken. All right, there you can see it's going in the corner. I'm actually taking a hit on my download speed by a lot. Its mod's usually downloaded by now. Anyway, so it's done. Uh, Now this one doesn't have a foam mod, but you always want to select manual. And I probably should have got to this before. You can hit OK and it'll install the mod. You can hit cancel to cancel out. You can use this drop down to rename it. I can use this. I could type in, say, hell version, even though it's not. And that's what it'll be named. We'll just leave it right at, immersive weapons. Always hit manual. There we got that message again, right? Well, data's right there. But let's expand it a little bit more to see what's inside the file, right? Meshes, scripts, textures, right? So you're going to right click on data, set the data directory. Now everything looks good. You're good to install. Hit OK. This one will take a tiny bit, right? That's a big file. Giggity. Immersive weapons. Now, when I hit plugins, immersive weapons ESP. And what I do is I either continually bring alternate start down low, or I'll just move this right above. I try to keep alt start or unbound as low as they possibly go, even though in my left pane, where do I even have it? It's at 28, okay. So priority 28 is alternate start. Right there. See, unbound is underneath it, but it's not ticked. I could bounce back and forth if I want to, but then I would have to bring unbound down to the bottom. So for now, we're sticking with alternate start. And then, of course, so this is where your saves are going to populate too on the right side. So once you start making saves on a character in Mod Organizer, you can actually I think he just doesn't like one that mods for console Sonar. I really think if a certain situation didn't happen involving Hoth Trooper, you guys would be seeing immersive armors and weapons on console. You would have seen it already. Most of you already know what that is. I really don't want to go into it, but it was a very unfortunate situation for people that only game on console with that mod and what happened. Sad. Um, and I'm sure since then there have been many people that have pled their case to Hoth Trooper to say, hey, please, because of one person being a mod thief, don't penalize the rest of us. But it's his prerogative to keep the immersive stuff on Nexus on PC only. And it sucks, but we have to respect it, you know? So now that I can see live feed and my phone's not being all ridiculous, so a couple other things with MO2. I showed you guys the ini editor, right? So these are your settings. Your general path for MO2. You could set the binary, right? Nexus. This is how you associate with download with manager links. See this tab here? I'll go back to this one here. Settings. They're wrench and spanner. Okay. Click on the Nexus tab. Associate, download with manager links. And then these are my servers that it'll bounce back and forth, but it's usually Nexus CDN. Sometimes when MO2 is installed, this will automatically, I guess it's like it'll already be detecting them for whatever reason. I had it happen to me once when I uninstalled it and reinstalled it. I'm assuming it's because the same instance was going on. Um, Normally you will have to tick this. So Steam, that's my name. Now you guys know who I am. You could stalk me if you want to. I don't think there's anything else in here. All right. So what do you guys want to see? Uh, Creation kit? And minimize it. You want me to create a follower? Like now? Like just do one now? I could. I could make a crappy one. I'll make a very basic. Well, all mine are basic. There's nothing special about any of them. I mean, they're all using vanilla. What I mean is they're all using vanilla assets. Yeah, all right, may as well. Okay, so Bethesda launcher creation kit up top here, right? Uh, Creation kit should automatically launch the BNet launcher because that's what you have to do now. Let's see how streaming and the creation kit work. And let me just make sure I don't have anything in my data folder. No, that's clean. Okay. Ugh. What the hell's my password? Okay. So that's me. Is this because of the update? Or because I had to log in? Okay. Let me try it again. I haven't used the CK. I mean, I was in it the other day, but I didn't have any issues. Unless there's an update, which I haven't. I've been working on the load order for the last couple of days. No, scan and repair. Let's see. We'll do this on the fly. Oh, okay. Well, sure. I wonder if I accidentally deleted it when I deleted. I might have. I might have accidentally deleted something. I do it all the time. And then I have to go back and figure out what I messed up. I do it all the time. Yeah, it could be. I mean, I have if it's updated within the last couple of days, then no, I don't have the latest version. And that's probably what it's doing right now. Copying 15,708 items from scripts.zip to data, which would be this one. Okay. Yeah, we'll just let it do its thing. And then we'll just try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll do something else. While it's doing this, so stuff that I've worked on, or let me see, mainly like my I keep backups of my ESPs for the followers because I can really just plug them in and then regenerate face gen. So I have Marin. This is Crimson's, because Crimson wanted me to plug him into one of my plays. So Marin Blackthorn's here. Got his ESP. I've also got his mesh and texture. Uh, so this is from the port of Path of Volcar scripts. This I have to go back over to look at again. This I had a couple messages saying that it had some scripting issues, and I found one of them and I thought I fixed it, but I have to go back and do it again. So slower leveling with followers. This is John Rose's mod. His new home mod. I did a little bit of testing for this one. His Granite Hill mod. Stuff I have saved. It's almost there. If it is downloading a whole new one, I'll be pissed. And if for, like I said, if for whatever reason it doesn't work, I'm not gonna make you guys suffer while I try and sort it out here. We'll do something else, or I could just continue with, because my load order is not even complete. So to get to the other stream tonight, I probably won't be able to do it. But we'll see what this does. We're at 80%. So let's get rid of my mod list. I don't need that anymore. Let's go back to downloading for a little bit. What's doing that? So immersive weapons, and then okay, we're good. So this is a patch for immersive weapons, but immersive weapons itself. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Okay. Uh, yeah, creation kit's up. There we go. So don't mind me, I'm not quite as good as John Rose with how I set this up, but I will try my best. I'm a little bit slower. He can navigate through here very quickly, whereas I take my time for the most part. We're gonna do a follower. We'll do something fairly basic. So I just want all my windows. Object window, render window, and your cell window. Okay. Da, 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 all right. So what I do when I'm creating followers, I don't know exactly what they're gonna have in their inventory, what spells they're gonna have. Skyrim and Update are usually the only two you need, but if you want to use content from one of these three, tick them all. Just don't set them as active. Just keep them all as master files. Hit OK. Alright, so it's doing the same thing for me. Okay, never mind. Ignore what I just said. See if I get it again. Okay. Skyrim and Update. We're good to go. Mine doesn't load up as fast as John's. I think he's got something like 440 megabytes per second download speed because he lives in a major city. Whereas I live on top of a mountain, surrounded by forests, in the middle of nowhere, in a town of 700 people. So, I'm lucky for what I get. But we'll do a basic follower. Uh, yep, install. I thought I changed that. I guess I'm gonna have to go back and do it again. Creation kit any. Yeah, Ren, that's the first time I've seen that. Because usually it lets me select content from all of them. So I wonder what's changed. I don't know. All right. So, as I'm losing my voice here, so my headphones are probably going to shut off again pretty soon. Uh, actor. Just going to bring up all the actors. We're going to right click, create new, and then we need to give our actor a unique ID. So for me, it's usually ROL. Let me see. We'll just type fake follower mod. So the name is going to be the name of your character. So this guy's name is Chuck. Or we can name him Chuck Norris. Because. At this point, hit OK to save. Once you get that base in, save often with the creation kit. This thing is fickle. Fickle, fickle, fickle. And then to filter it out, you just go back over actor. And in the filter window, just type in the first three. Like, so mine would be ROL F. And you see right here, fake follower. Okay. We're going to bring it back up. So now everything's been saved so far, right? So traits. What I like to do is I like to make them essential and unique. I don't really go over to anything else. We'll start with the race. So let me see for race. We'll do a Nord because Nords are fairly easy to do. It would be here, Nord race. Skin tone, I tend to leave alone. Height I always leave alone, but weight I adjust. I usually set to 35. Now, if I hit preview full, it's missing face gen. Yeah, yes to all. So we basically have a standard male Nord right now with all the default settings. I really have to go over my CK any because I think I lost everything. I think I accidentally deleted everything out of there, which pisses me off. Because now it's going to give me errors for absolutely everything I do, which is, all the fun of the CK. So it's already preset for you, but it's also going to give you these error messages. You could just ignore most of them. Weapon list doesn't have anything there. So for the voices, if you guys need to know where your voices come from, I think it's under miscellaneous, form list, and you're going to want to clear this out and you're going to want to type follower. Okay. And let me see if I can spread this. Maybe not. This one? Yeah. Okay. What comes up here? Voice is follower orc, rough, follower neutral, follower all, player follower combat. Okay, so follower is all, right? These are all the voices that will match up to a follower, which is what we're making. So male even tone accented, female sultry, male drunk, female dark elf, right? Male even toned, male young eager, etc. Right? Obviously, if it was an Argonian, you wanted an Argonian voice. We'll do standard even tone. Hit OK. And default male even toned. Right there. Select it. You can give them a death item, so upon their death, it's something that you can loot off their corpse. I don't do it. Stats. So this is their leveling stats. So you could start them at a level, PC level multiplier. So this is how I get them to level with me. I usually start mine at 10 and maximum usually 81 because that's what most people get to unless you have some type of uncapper, right? Speed, I usually set them to 115 to 120. Otherwise, they just lag behind you. Sometimes they have a hard time catching up. At this point, I usually save it again, right? Go back under actor. Okay, brings it back up. And as you can see, everything is saved. Minimum level 10, that's the level they're going to start at. Max is 81. If I go back into traits, you can see Nord race is saved, weight 35, the voice is saved, etc. They're essential, they're unique, and the names is saved. Where it gets confusing, oh, I'm sorry, let me say class. We're going to make them, let's see. Just a combat warrior one-handed. Well, no, we'll make, you know what, let's, do a two-handed warrior. Okay. For factions. Yeah, it must be Lego. Because it took me half the time to load the program up, and I didn't have to hit yes to all, plus none of the error messages that are popping up are popping up. So I must have deleted something where it was reset. So I'm going to have to. All right, so faction's important. What you're going to do in this box here is you're going to right click, new, and then let's see, what is it, follower? Okay, type the word follower. There are two that you need, okay? First one is current follower faction. You're going to highlight it, select OK. Pops up over here. You're going to right click again, hit new. You're going to go back, you're going to type follower again. And the one right underneath, the potential follower faction. Select these two. And what you need to do here, you're going to hit F2 on current follower faction. You're going to make this -1. You're going to hit enter to save it. This will allow you to recruit them as a follower. If it's a 0, you cannot. If it's anything else besides -1, you're going to have issues. Assigned crime faction, none. Leave that alone, okay? And then I usually go into relationships. So you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to right click. You're going to hit new. And then what I do for my ID is I copy my ID up at the top and I type the word REL for relationship at the bottom. So it'd be ROL fake follower mod REL. Okay. Parent NPC is the ID. Doesn't need to be changed. Okay. Child NPC is going to be player. So you type PL for you. Relationship level, they're going to be an ally. There's other things here, but for a base follower, like the stuff that you guys have seen me create, the stuff that Crimson's created, this is how we've done it. Association type, I leave it alone. You can look into it if you like. I've never used one. Just hit OK, and it pops up the relationship status. Keywords. Don't think I've used it, so I'm going to leave it alone. This is basically a sloppier version of Dark Fox 127's version. He actually has a very, very in-depth walkthrough for creating followers. Let me see. Oh no. Is this... Hold on. Okay. No, I lied for keywords. Okay, no I didn't. Alright, we're going to go to AI data. So these are the AI attributes. Aggression. You don't want to go past aggressive, really. Otherwise, they just start attacking every little thing, or they'll go wandering off attacking every little thing. I keep mine on aggressive or unaggressive. Confidence is how they behave in battle. You want them to be cowardly, set them to that. Cautious. Cautious is usually good if you're making a sneaky character. They will engage in combat based on their aggression level, but they'll sneak more often, I guess is the best way. Brave or foolhardy. They'll run right into combat. So this guy's a two-hander. I'll put him at foolhardy. Who he helps, assistance. Friends and allies. So anything that's considered a friend or an ally. Ally is another follower mod. A friend could be another follower and or a pet or something to the likes of that. Okay. The mood, what they're going to have on their face. So I want this guy to be angry. And we'll give him energy level of 40. We don't want him to be too crazy, but we don't want him just standing around constantly. We want him moving a little bit. Morality. Any crime, they'll basically forgive any crime. Anything you do, they won't aggro on you. They won't, you know. No crime would be the opposite of that. They would aggro on you for picking a lock or, punching somebody else. Excuse me, they basically turn on you. Same thing with property crimes or violence against enemies. So I always choose any crime. Aggro radius behavior. This stuff I leave alone. Combat style. This is the next one you need to get into. Human melee. I always wondered what the levels mean. Human boss. I wonder if there's something else I could change it to. Do level 3. Give filter. I usually don't worry about this. So at this point I'm going to save it again. Hit OK. Do the same thing. Highlight actor. Then you're going to bring him back up again. Let me see here. All right, Ren. So I'm just trying to get back to the question here. So for relationship part, can you set the followers? Yeah. Let me see here. You could actually set them in, where is it, traits? So if you want to swap, because it defaults to a male, right? But if I want to swap to a female to set that for relationship, this is like the NPC's relationship to you. So they're going to be an ally. You can change this to lover. I don't know how the game engine handles it. Uh, I've tried to create uh, two male followers that were lovers. I also tried to create two female characters that were lovers. I don't think the game engine recognizes it, and that's a Bethesda thing, which kind of sucks because the way that I'm setting my story up, uh, that's the relationship between two of the male characters in that, and I kind of just have to role play it myself vocally, whereas I would like to do it visually within the game itself. I just think that's a limitation of the game, and it sucks. It absolutely negates an entire realm of situations and stories to come up with, characters to create. Uh, I mean, they really dropped the ball on that. I don't know what Bethesda was thinking at the time, but 2011, Bethesda wasn't thinking much because the game is still broken. Um, I think yeah, Lego. If you know more about this, absolutely let me know and let Red know. It's been something I tried to figure out, and like I said, it's just my lack of. I've only been doing it a couple months. Where you've got like Dark Fox has been doing it for ages, and Dark Fox is on Ren. Ren. Dark Fox is on Couch Warriors Discord. I don't see him post often, but he posted the other day about Couch Warriors move. So he'd probably be the one to ask directly, because I would absolutely love to do that for my own story. Um, Let me see. AI package. So AI package. You're gonna right click and go to. Is it add? Yes. Okay. So this is the sandboxing. Uh, Let me see if I get this right because it's been a little while. Uh, Default. Oh, here it is. All right. Second time's the charm, I guess. Type in default sandbox current with no spaces and current location 256 or 1024. 1024 just means they're going to move around a little bit more. This is the one I select as my default. I select it, hit OK. I leave everything else alone. Inventory. This is where it gets kind of fun. So, default outfit is what you'd want them to wear. So, let me see here. There are a ton of options here, by the way. So let's just say I want him in a child's outfit. No, we'll give him something at least decent. We'll give him clothes to start out with. You could see all the stuff, and a lot of it's not going to make sense to you guys either. But the more you do it, the more you'll somewhat understand. And then after you do it for a while, you'll really understand like what you're giving them. Obviously, Dark Brotherhood Jester outfit, Cicero's outfit, robes, hoods, etc. Um, you can give him Esbern's outfit, which should be the mourner's clothes, right? His Skyhaven outfit, which would be, oh no, I'm sorry, his default outfit, he's got the white shirt on, and then Skyhaven outfit is the mourner's robes. We'll just give him fine clothes outfit one. So you can see what it pops up here, editor ID. He's got the fine boots 01, fine clothes 01. That's these. So when you hit full and you zoom in as much as you can, that's what you're working with, right? That's what you got. So we'll keep him with these. Now, this is where it gets fun. This is where you get to load them up with a whole bunch of new stuff. So inventory, you'll hit new. This pops up. Okay. Leave that alone. Go to object. This is where you're going to want to give them like armor, weapons, uh, other things like I always do gold. I'll hit GO and then I'll find gold 01. So all my followers usually come with 750. Don't ask me why. It's just what I do. Okay. So now you can see gold is populated here. Quantity 750, right? Right click again. You can put as much stuff in here as you want. This comes back up. You're going to want to go over here. I want to give them a torch. So TO. Then you go to torch 01. I give mine 4. Okay. You can see how it popped up there. All right. Hit new again. Let's see here. Let's go to leveled items. You hit LV. Whoa. Just glitched out on me. You can see how much stuff is in here. This is why, you know, like for the first couple times you start doing this, you're going to be sitting scrolling through these lists, looking at each one by one. You're going to try and remember like where I've seen this in the game, which enemy has this, which boss has this, which, you know, NPC have I seen where in, you know, this set or that set, or who had the special bow, blah blah blah. Some of them are unobtainable. Um, I don't even know what I want to give him. Let's see. Level enchanted ebony sword. Okay. Or we're gonna give him a great sword. He's two-handed, right? We'll give him a great sword. So, uh, armor. We'll just do basic Stormcloak stuff. We'll give him light. So the bear boots. Let's see. The hell was it? Even like I still get lost going through this menu here. Uh, should be S for Stormcloak, right? All right, there it is. Bear Cures. Count 1. Okay. Ooh, no, I want to leave the gold alone. You can win. You could send them to what do you say it? Marriageable. Set them to marry. None of mine have yet because I'm not the most experienced doing it. The ones I've created, I've basically created for story and then for personal use. It's one of the things I would have liked to have gotten more detailed into follower creation. My magic mod sidetracked me. I started with that. That's on the shelf right now. It's hidden away in a file. My Quest mod, I'm probably 12% with that. Um, and by 12%, 12% of the first part, because it's an undeath style mod. So think of the size of the mod undeath, just about the same size, just not broken or completely broken. So it's something like that. In the free time I have, I've been working on that. He's got the boots to curious. Let me just complete the set for him here. The gauntlets. Oop, no, I don't want another torch. And the bear helm. Okay. So now he's got all of them. The gauntlets, the cuirass, the boots, the bear helm. He's got his leveled enchanted ebony greatsword. He's got 4 torches on him. He has 750 gold. I'm not going to give him a necklace or ring because I don't feel like looking at that stupid menu again. I can hit OK to save him. Okay. Now, you're probably going to wind up saving a lot more than I am. We'll go back in here. We'll bring him back up. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Lego's right. You're absolutely right. You spend hours and on just one little thing, right? Like if I wasn't talking to you guys now, or I wasn't streaming this, and all I wanted to do was just pump out a follower, just hope for shits and giggles he gets uh, featured by somebody on YouTube the next day, 15 minutes max, right? Don't even care what they're gonna wear. I'll probably just give him default what he's got in here as a default outfit and just let it go. I won't even set up anything else. I might not even change. I might change just his hairstyle, and that's it, right? Uh, these other things down here, NPC, I don't really care to worry about them. We're gonna go over to spell list. Spells is interesting. Spells and perks, right? So spells up top here, perks on the bottom. These are spells you want them to know. You would go to right click and new. You would basically type the name of the spell you want in. So what do they come with? Flames and healing base. You would have to add them in. So do we want them to cast fire? So you could see flames comes up. You'd find it down here. Anything else that has the word flame in it. Let's give him, let's see. Let's give him oak flesh. Okay. And that's going to be the only spell he's going to know. So you select it, hit OK. This guy's a warrior. Perks, on the other hand, I mean, you could do the same thing here. If you want to give him like a master level spell, say you want to give him paralyze for whatever reason. There it is. Yeah, I mean, you could do it, but you can give him whatever you want. Load him up. See how Oak Flesh costs him 103? He may or may not be able to cast this in the beginning. Perks, on the other hand, you're going to right click, you're going to hit the word add. Every created follower should have the Lightfoot perk. So they don't go over traps, so they don't kill themselves. Because it does happen. If you're not using the follower management mod to make them essential, or for whatever reason, if the mod author doesn't tick unique or essential, they could die. They'll die in Bleak Falls from a freaking trap. So Lightfoot always should be one that goes in. Right there, perk. Add. And that's in. We'll add one of each, what is it, barbarian for two-handed. We'll put in barbarian 40. You can go all the way up. You could select as many as you like. It's the latest one based off the level that's going to count for how much damage they do. Um, so like if you wanted to start him at level 10, barbarian's probably going to be 40 because he's gone up 10 levels, or he's gone up 9 levels to level 10. And if he's a two-handed warrior, that's probably going to be a little higher than 40 at that point. So you really wouldn't want to select either of these two. So I'd start them there. Uh, wow, can't type. What is the God? It's been so I haven't even used heavy armor in how long? Hey, Lego, if you're still here, what's the vanilla heavy armor tree, or like the base perk in it? Because I cannot remember for the life of me. Let me see. I'll do a quick search. Uh, yeah. Juggernaut. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. It's been so long since I've used vanilla anyway. Anything. We'll put that at 40 as well. So Lightfoot, just as a utility, comes in handy. Um, and I'm gonna give him. Let's see. I'm gonna give him Adept Alteration just to see if he'll cast Oak Flesh, just to add it in. So we're not really gonna give him anything else. So he's got a two-handed perk. He's got a heavy armor perk. He's got Lightfoot, and then we'll see if he casts that. Now, if you're really filling these out, this is where you're gonna hit OK to save again, because it's a pain in the ass doing these lists each and every time. And if your CK crashes on you, you have to do it all over again. I'm not gonna worry about it because I'm just not. Sounds, I tend to leave these alone. You could change them, the level, inherent sounds from. I'm going to leave them alone. Animation, I haven't messed with Havoc animation at all. Um, I usually go right to the setup here. So his head, right? We'll pull him in. He's an ugly motherfucker, right? Yeah, typical Nord. So it's changing his hair. You can see the hair change, right? Oh, this is face tinting. There it is. Complexion, male Nord, age 40, because I'm almost 40. Although I don't look anything like that. I don't have that many wrinkles. uh, eyes. So this. Okay, headphones again. So we'll do eyes. Defaults to male eyes, human light blue, but it's going to be default here. So let me just see if I can scroll him in a teeny bit more. This is the hard part. What I do is I usually pull him over and put it to the side, and I'll tilt. Makes it a little bit easier to see. So I use the up and down arrows. So you can see that it goes to bloodshot, right? Bloodshot brown. you could basically pick. Go slow when you go through these, because sometimes you'll get a little error message on the left-hand side, and it makes you start all over again. Human Demon. We're gonna choose, I think, Ice Blue, because Ice Blue's it's pretty good for a follower mod. Um, they tend to get recognized more often. Green, if there was a lighter green, I would probably use that. The green hazel. Oh, that's just left. Bright green. But see how bright green's not really, I mean it is, but it isn't. So I like to go with ice blue. I can go yellow too. Yellow's actually, but we'll do ice blue. Okay. Hair. Pull him back out a little bit. So hair, you're going to be constantly checking him from the side. You're going to go back down to default. So NordMail 20, you guys have all seen this one, right? Now, if you have a hair mod loaded in your data folder when you load it into the creation kit, it should pull up a list of all the modded hair files. Only use them if you're going to do it for personal use, not if you're planning on releasing it unless you have permission to do so. Otherwise, it's considered mod theft. You want to do it for yourself, just for a personal playthrough, yeah, load up as many hair mods as you want, since you could download them for free from Nexus or wherever you get hair mods from. Same thing with facial, like skin, etc. Scars is a big one. Load a scar mod in. It should default here. But we keep it basic. I like to keep mine basic, so we'll give him this one. I haven't done a follower with this hairstyle yet. So that's Nord 16. Facial hair. Bearded, right? Defaults to none. So no beard. I think the one Dark Fox did, he gave this guy this beard, which looks hysterical. I'm not gonna do it, but I remember watching that video and thinking, oh my god. But it looked funny. It was, oh, see, that's the error. Should have been converted offline. Just delete that out. You don't need it. We'll give him this one. Not bad, right? Pretty standard. This would be something like you'd see on a Bandit Chief. Eyebrows, for some reason, it defaults to none. So we're going to change that. We're going to give him these brows right there. Nope, don't like them. Alright, we'll give him these. Nope, don't like them either. You can see how it's such a tough decision, right? Alright, so Humanoid 07. We'll go with those. Okay. So what I'm going to do now I'm going to save it. Have a good night, Lego. Thank you. Oh my god. We'll go back. He's already up here under actor. We'll load him back up. We only have one more part to go, so the character gen morphs is really the last one. So you're going to want to pull him all the way in as far as you can. And when I'm doing this, this is my mouse wheel forward, right? Mouse wheel back. The left click to turn his head, right? And hold, like I'm holding the left mouse button. And then when I press down on the mouse wheel, it allows me to go in different directions, which is handy. It takes some while. I'll be honest, I'm still not 100% used to it. It takes a while to get used to that if you haven't been doing it. This is similar to the character customizing screen. Where brow I could see, obviously his brows go whatever direction I want to, or raise them. I'm not going to go through all these. I'm not even really, I might just change his mouth from lip type, right? We'll give him that one for the sake of the video. It's actually not even that bad. Um, you kind of get the idea. The eye type, actually I have to pull him in for the eye type's usually pretty important to me. So you basically just go down the list, you find something you like. Which I'll probably just use eye type 3. Right. Not too bad. Right. Depth. Raise the height up a little bit. Nose type. Same thing, you kind of have to turn it to the side. Start with nose type. Wow, jeez. We'll just leave him at type 11. Nice thick Nordic. We'll leave everything else alone. You guys kind of get the idea, right? So basically, and you want to go to preview. So this is what he's going to look like here. Since you have everything saved, now when you pull him close in, right? He starts with the noble clothes, but now you can see the new hairstyle, the beard, the eyes, everything, yada yada. Okay. We're going to click OK to save everything. Now, generating face gen data. Actor, you're going to want to pull up your follower again. Okay. So where it's here, I'm not going to actually select this, but I am going to highlight it. Right? So it looks like this. You're going to hold down the left control button, hit the F4 button. You'll get this message here. Export face gen data for all selected NPCs. We only have the one guy selected. We're going to hit yes. Done. That's so you don't get the gray face bug. And when porting to console, so you don't get the fruity pebble bug. If you look at my follower, Gorion, my very, very first mod I ever did, about 2 days after I built my PC, he has the face gen issue. Because I was unaware of Dark Fox at the time, nor his videos, nor his expertise, and I had no clue. I had made a pretty good follower, actually made him pretty well. I just forgot that step, and then at some point I deleted all my shit, and his stuff is gone forever. But he lives on as a reminder to me that I started somewhere and I made a mistake. And I think I even left the comment section open for him, but nobody's commented. So you get the message done, you're okay. Now, we need to place him into the world. So this bottom box here is cell view. We're going to do Riverwood. We're going to select Tamriel from here. Okay. This bottom box is going to load. And you're just going to highlight in here and hit RI to bring up. We'll do Riverwood 01. The render window should do its thing. Oops, I have to double click it. Yes to all. Yes to all. I really have to fix this. I hate hitting yes to all. Wait, which box can't you see? Yeah, it's, I can expand it. It's literally the cell, like the cell, all the cells in the game. So you can select this, and when you generate your LOD data, this is what you have for the most part. All of the exterior cells for Tamriel. So I'll go back and I'll do it again here. We'll load up Tamriel because you want to be outside in the world, right? I hit RI for Riverwood. But here, ooh, excuse me, let me do it again. Okay. I'll go to Riverwood 01, select it. So you can see in the render window here, actually I have to minimize this, otherwise I'm not going to be able to work with it. Now this is the tricky part. Now even I haven't figured this out completely. So I'm going to scroll back on the mouse to find out where we're at here. This is a bird's eye view of Riverwood. So you can see certain things here, right? You kind of know where you're at. This is where dragons land. Those are spawn points. So you guys kind of know where you're at. You're on the outside here. This is Faendal's usually chopping wood over there. Let me see if I can move in a little further. Alright, so you guys know where I'm at, right? I'm not the best at trying to find certain things here. Alright. So this is all a Riverwood here. Right? Okay. Now if you wanted to put him somewhere, all you would do is, see how we have the follower here? You would literally left click, drag, and place them in here, right? Yeah, it does, right? It's like the Matrix. It's insane. Even I don't know what all these things necessarily mean. I read up on them a little bit, but you know, it's hard enough for me just to kind of control, the mouse, just the setup itself. Uh, but let's just say you don't want to put him outside. Let's say you want to put him, I don't know, in the inn, right? Sleeping Giant, it's right there, right? We could do that. We could put him inside the inn. You're gonna want to go back down here, right? You're gonna want to find interior, which is all the way at the top. And then I believe RI again. Oh, no, I lied. Ah, okay. So I messed that up. It's still gonna be Tamriel, and I'll show you why. Like I said, it's been a while. RI for Riverwood. Okay. Now, I think I had it right the first time. I don't know why it's not. Let me see here. Let me try interiors one more time. Let's see if I can find it. Unless it got messed up when I was when I deleted all those files out of there. We'll try it again. All right, Riverwood Bridge, Rift Watchtower. Trio 6. See, this should all be exterior stuff. It's supposed to be under interior. I don't know why it's doing it. It's being funny. Let's try doing it by... Alright, Riverwood, Sleeping Giant Inn location. Riverwood, Sleeping Giant Inn. Okay. For some reason it looks different. So we'll load this cell up, okay? So this will put me inside of the inn. Let me just close this down a little bit. Okay. Now, it's always a little harder for me to navigate inside here, so just bear with me for 1 second. There's Embry. So these are where other patrons normally sit. That's what this is. You can see everything inside here. Delphine's room. Right. So let's just say there's too much going on over there. Let's just stay over here. Just back out a little bit. I know this is probably not the best to look at. So let's drop him right here. And there he is. Now, he's on the ground. He should be good. And he's also going to sandbox around a little bit. So he's going to go to the tables. He may not be standing directly right here when you find him. But he'll be somewhere within the radius. And then what I like to do, even though I've already generated his face gen data, I like to do it a second time. Oh, hold on. It doesn't hurt anything at all. It's just for peace of mind, so I know it's the last thing that I'm doing. So I'm gonna hit yes, okay. Save. You're gonna want to save it now. So we're about to test them in game just to see. I'm gonna load up the game in a second, but up top here, save plugin. I'm gonna just type. Let me see here. Ranges of lore, test follower 01. Basic. Save. I think that's everything. Let's go test them in game, okay? Where is it? We're going to use my mod testing profile, which has absolutely nothing. I don't even think I have SKSE. Maybe I do. Hold on. Let me see. I don't even have that installed. Okay. Let's install it just for the hell of it. because I'm so used to running it. Okay. We'll see if it works. I may get an error. So see you later. You can't set the sexuality, which makes me sad. Oh, that does suck, Ren. So you can't set it at all, huh? Oh, that blows. I was hoping you could. I wonder if you guys, I might have to swap over to game capture. You're gonna see a black screen for a little bit. All right, there we go. It should be popping up on your screen now, so. Okay. You're gonna see me go through some menus. So once that loads up on the screen, I'll go to the next step here. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bypass a new start or a load. Alright, for whatever reason it's not working. And my Wi-Fi is down again. It's terrific. What's up, Mel? Might try it on my other profile. Give me 1 second here. Let me close this out. Alright. Just KSE Sky UI. What the hell else do I need? I don't know. MO2's all messed up. Let me just minimize some stuff here. You can obviously see how prepared I am with all this. It was running great. Files in my overwrite, great. What's in my overwrite folder? Plugins. Don't need it. Okay. We'll test him on this one. So he'll show up as unmanaged mod, unmanaged ROL test follower. So what you need to do in the right pane, he's all the way at the bottom here. I'm just going to tick him. We have SKSE. Let's try it with this profile. I haven't even tested this one yet, but we'll see. Yeah, all the boxes smell. All the boxes. There's a ton of them. This one's going to take a little bit longer too because I haven't even loaded this profile. The only thing I may have loaded this profile up was just to test the EMB. That was it. Literally it. That plus is trying to load all of my mods that I have in now for the first time with the EMB. Why the hell can I not COC to Riverwood? Try a white one. Oh, okay. So I probably have the wrong COC code. We will just, it's going to look ugly. I've not generated any LOD files. So my grass is going to look odd. Some of the landscape's going to look odd. I haven't finished it yet, so we're only doing this for the follower. Ignore everything else. And you're going to see a whole bunch of shit load up. So, toggle God mode. Anytime you COC in, you get this generic douchebag. And he's an ugly son of a bitch. Look at him. I don't even have any fault or any NPC. Whatever. Let's go find that follower. No, don't care about religion. So this is kind of the beginning of the new setup too. Not to give away a lot, because I haven't done anything with it. And it's going to stutter a little bit. No LODs, like I said. But as you can see, some new additions. I will show off some of this stuff for you guys. Yeah, he is an ugly SOB, right? How do you like the new lanterns? I like them. My MCM is still going, by the way. I have a lot of adjusting to do. I think they look damn good. Other things I haven't gotten to yet are like water. That's vanilla water right there. That is 100% crappy vanilla water. Looks like plastic. Ugh. Farmhouse wood, yes. Moss rocks, yes. I have those done. 3D signs I have done. I do not have any exterior lighting yet, aside from NAT, which I haven't even adjusted. So it's technically modded, but it's technically vanilla. The guards have their armor and stuff, though.
Be glad you're here in the city, and not out in Riverwood. Those poor sods don't even have a wall.
Nope. Alright, let's go to, Yeah, I didn't even set the grass any or anything like that, so. Let's trudge on up to Riverwood. At least I can jump and run at the same time. What's up, fuckers?
Aerial business.
Yeah. What else do we have going on here? Yeah, without the landscape lots, you can see. These I've been working on. And then mixing up the colors. But the lighting is what I was concerned about. I think it's, you know, considering it's 9 a.m., I could turn this off. I could turn this setting off so there's no lighting in the daytime. And then obviously if you look across there, you can see, because all my files are only some of the grass, you can see how barren that is. Get out of my way. I can only imagine how it's going to look with Riverwood Grove once I add that in too. Blended roads. 3D stone. Which needs adjusting. So let's see if the follower's here. Tasty mushroom. What's up, Embry?
Hey, no fair.
Yeah, no fair. So, like I said, I think I got him right for the most part. Yeah, there he is.
Orgnar.
Let me just reset my,
Hard not to.
The ale is going bad. We need to get a new batch.
reset my YouTube here real quick.
Did you hear me?
It doesn't like me tonight.
Yep, ale's going bad.
I guess you don't have potatoes in your ears after all. Just make sure we get a fresh batch.
The lighting mod is NAT,
Let me know if you want it.
Natural
I
Atmospheric
got a
Tamriel,
bug around here somewhere.
which I have not adjusted wind at all.
You're that visitor been poking around.
I will kill you one day. So here he is,
Yes?
Chuck Norris.
Divine smile on you, friend.
Hey Chuck, do you got any water?
Of course.
Awesome. Chuck Norris is gonna follow me around for a little bit.
Lead the way.
Let's see if he's as badass as he is in real life.
Still here.
Let's trade.
What do you want me to carry?
Oh, I don't know. What have you got? So you got Stormcloak Officer stuff, eh? I thought so. Well, I'm gonna take your Septums. And I'm gonna take your Bracers so you actually equip your shit. And I'll give you your Bracers right back. How about that? And he doesn't have his leveled greatsword, does he?
You lead, I'll follow.
Oh, you're gonna punch somebody, Chuck? Is that your game plan with those knuckles? I don't know, man.
Still here.
Try
do you want me to
something
carry?
with him. Oh, that's different. Well, I gotta fix that. Look at the lighting on the torch. See the purple textures? That's not rendering properly. Oh, that's a new torch, by the way. I need that one. So, if you're just looking at the torch, what do you think? I'm not... I kind of like it, but I'm not 100% on it. Alright. We'll take that out.
You lead, I'll follow.
Yeah, he'll follow me. Is that... yeah, NAT? Well, let's see if it does it here or if it crashes my game. Oh, yeah. Smoking missing textures. How about that? That's a first. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. Ah, can we fix that rooster? Yeah, magic purple torch. That'd be good for a like a witch master character. Just say screw it. I'm gonna load this torch up with NAT and not adjust anything, and I'm just gonna carry this smoking purple torch of death around. Let's see if it bothers anybody. Oh, that just looks so awful. That's trippy. Look at that. Anyway, let me put that away. Or let me see if I can fix that with NAT real quick.
Yes?
I doubt it.
Yes?
I don't know. I'll have to play around with it some more. Anyway. The point is, Chuck Norris is missing his greatsword. But he's there. So that's how you create a follower. He's obviously not going to look as good. This is the guard armor overhaul, so when I go in and gave him the basics Sons of Skyrim armor, that's really what it is, like the Talos armor, whatever, Stormcloak stuff, it'll default to this, and it's light. I wish you could use this as a, but Chuck's missing his greatsword. He doesn't look very happy, does he?
Still here.
He's got a terrible voice for his age, by the way.
All right, what is it?
Like, just look at his face and then watch the voice. Well, let's get him to punch Embry or something, right? Attack Embry.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, you go attack him. Or he's gonna run away. Oh, he's grabbing a weapon. Awesome. You just went and grabbed a two-hander. Alright, you go kill Embry. Go get him. Get him, Chuck Norris. Wow, took Chuck Norris 2 hits. Embry's... Alright, you got me a bounty now. Now what are you gonna do?
All right, what is it?
Alright, I'm gonna need you to do something else. Let's, No, I don't want to do anything to stump. How about you attack that cow?
Okay, got it.
Alright, Chuck Norris, go get me some steak. I'm hungry tonight. Alright. Good, Chuck Norris. Alright, time to put you away. So, they all go grab weapons. Anyway, so let me see what's now in my overwrite folder. What do I have in here now? Alright, I have to minimize this. So like I said, I still have some work to do. Let's see what else. It is after midnight, guys. I was not planning on streaming this long. Um, Mel, it's gonna auto upload to my YouTube. Literally. I think I don't know. I think I may have to pin it in Discord, so I'll do that. Um, Actually, I could do that right now. I think I can, right? Yeah. Where's mine? Yeah, so it's this one right here in my channel. It's pinned. So when you guys come in here, it's going to be the only thing on my channel that's pinned. I haven't pinned anything else. This episode here has everything that you're watching right now, right? I could even see who's misbehaving in Discord and broadcast it to everybody. But I won't do that because I'm not an asshole. Uh, so there you go, Mel. Just so you watch it. If that song gets stuck in my head for me saying that, I'm gonna drive across the country, and I'm gonna flip you off and drive all the way back. So that's some basics. Programs, loot, uh, Xedit. Don't worry about the LOD stuff yet. Once you start getting the basics of building a load order, and like here's the other thing too. We all started on console, well, the majority of us started on console, right? So we had to hand place our load orders like mod by mod. That's why I do the same thing with this my loadout on PC. Every single mod that I have downloaded here, I made sure that it stayed in this order, and I made sure it stayed in this order. Because when I go to generate my LOD files and like run Finis, Finis is pretty. I'll do Finis right now. I don't think I have anything. No, because I don't have any mods to load it with. I need Finis, I need PCA2, and I need XPMSE, which I don't have. But that's a little more advanced. So, loot only to check inconsistencies, not to sort your list. You'll hit run. You'll let it load. One warning, no errors. 30 messages. A lot of them are missing patches, which I didn't get to yet. So for me, not a big deal. Although it could have been the issue with the smoking torch. I have no idea. Like I said, I didn't finish. The load order's not done yet, so. What else? What else? The Nordic Guide. Like I said, I don't follow it to a T. There's a ton of other stuff that I add in. Where is it? I don't know. My brain's pretty much fried at this point, guys. I didn't even realize I didn't take a break. But yeah, it's pretty easy to set up. You guys know we have the PC channel in Discord. So like any questions, I was just trying to give you guys a good idea of how it runs, what it does. I could shut this down. Let me close out the creation kit too, because I almost don't even want to save this guy. Chuck Norris. He's going to be in here now too. He's going to be an unmanaged mod until I delete his ESP. You don't need the Bethesda launcher anymore. This is just for the creation kit. Steam. So like anything, view my screenshots. I could view my online library. So this should be everything that I have. All how many of them? 600 something. It's going to keep loading. This is just like I have a ton of pictures on here. So, what else? What else? What else? Skyrim game folder is where everything goes. Data folder with MO2, you want to keep this as clean as possible, but you see test follower here. Now, I don't want him in my, I don't know, I may use him for something. I may make a bandit off him, so I'll go to my mods. I may just keep this ESP. Just plug it in there. So game folders got your ENB files. It's got your SKSE files. And then data's nice and clean. Meshes, actors, character, face gen. So these are when you're uploading to like BethesdaNet or Nexus, you're going to want to keep the file structure the same. So this is the mesh for that follower we just created. You're going to want to keep this identical. Data, meshes, actor, character, face gen data, face geom, the name of your ESP, the mesh. You're going to do the same thing with textures, actor, character. The DDS is the texture, the TGA is not needed. This is, those are the now created files that we need. So I'll have to wait a different day to figure it out. When I get one of my other followers up and ready, because I'm working on another one that's almost finished. When that character's ready to go up to BethesdaNet and or Nexus, depending on what I want to do with it, I'll do a video uploading it physically to BNet. Show you what a pain in the ass BNet is for those of you who don't know. Hey, see you later. Are you just making it now? I wasn't supposed to stream all this long. This was supposed to be just a couple basics, and then it got turned into a couple basics, and then a whole bunch of mods, and then created follower. Mel's a noob. I do that too, Ryan. I delete a lot of my pictures. Actually, I think my screenshots are next to nothing. Yeah, I have nothing right now. Because I had a lot here. I had about 400 or 500 screen, and they were like stuff from inside our Discord, like stuff from here that I needed like as a reference, screen caps. Let's see. Somebody joined and somebody left. Ah, there's a bunch of people. Did Barbarian join? No shit. I'll have to check that out. I'm ended the stream here because apparently Discord's a little more interesting. I'll do another one of these tomorrow. I am off tomorrow, guys. So I will try to better organize myself. Like I said, I kind of did this one on the fly. Just to me sit down after I had done, 100 mod loadout, just, waiting around. So like I said, I wasn't really prepared, but I'll figure out something. I just figured it'd be easier doing it this way so you could see kind of like how you see people on YouTube that have been doing it for so long, how prepared they are, and they move so fluidly, but you got to watch me do it. I'm a total amateur. I'll never say that I know more than I do, ever. So, and you got to watch me mess up a bunch. And you got to listen to my headset cut out about 4,000 times. So that's about it. I will see you guys later. And tomorrow. I'll do another one tomorrow. Have a good night. All right. Bye.